And welcome back to The Count. I'm Joe Pinion. We move on to story number 3, a Texas showdown. Well, President Donald J. Trump flexing his political muscle once again this week with Trump-endorsed candidate Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton trouncing Senator John Cornyn for the GOP nomination. Now, Cornyn had held that seat for a long time. He lost by nearly 30 points, and his victory, the victory of Paxton, continues to roll out the power of the Trump endorsement.
And then there's one person who I think you might know, President Donald J. Trump. When everyone in Washington told him to abandon me and abandon the people of Texas, he didn't listen. Instead, he gave his complete and total endorsement. President Trump is the leader of our party, and his endorsement in this is the most powerful force in politics. And I'm honored to have his support, and I look forward to working with him in the Senate to deliver for Texas.
Joining us now, host of the Sandy Rios 24/7, Sandy Rios, and also host of Turley Talks, Steve Turley, and president of Klink Campaigns, Matt Klink. Sandy, I'll start with you. It is clear the power of the Trump endorsement has never been stronger. Look, you could even hear him talking about it during his cabinet meeting the other day. Take a listen.
Last night was incredible, not only Texas, but so many other places, and the numbers were fantastic. And they've really been that way for a year. If you look, it's hundreds of people won, and almost nobody didn't win. So, but last night was very, very powerful.
Now, Sandy, to that point, right, I think it's at the peak of its powers right now. What does this mean going forward? Should people really, if they weren't already, be on notice?
I think so, but I guess I would expand it. As much influence as President Trump has, and he has a lot, and I thank God for that, it's also, we have to remember that the people that are running on the left, like Tallarico and the others, they don't have America in mind. It's the people that are upset about what candidates and people in Congress are doing, like what the John Cornyns and the John Thunes are not doing. We're upset. And so that's a huge factor in this, in addition to President Trump's endorsement. I really don't think that Trump supporters are mindless. I think they're very educated. Some of them may be a little bit, off the charts with their love of President Trump, but I find that most Trump supporters are very reasoned and smart. So I think it means a great deal. It means a lot for the nation. We don't want John Cornyn back. And I wish President Trump would target each and every one of those Republicans who are just absolutely feckless, who've sat in the chairs for so long and done nothing, claimed they believed in something and did nothing about it. And I think we're sick of that. I thank God John Cornyn's gone. And Ken Paxton, I know he's a flawed person. Gee whiz. I kind of think everybody is. I think I would like to look at what he's done. He's done so many good things in Texas. He's been very bold, going back to the 2020 election fiasco. And so I'm glad things came down the way they did. And I'm sure, of course, that President Trump's endorsement of Ken Paxton helped. I'm not saying that it didn't, because it certainly did.
Steve, to that point, right, I think that, yes, we always talk about the power of the Trump endorsement. It is real. It is unparalleled. I think it's also a function of what the American people wanted, the 77 million people that voted for Donald J. Trump. They wanted the SAVE Act, and the Senate has effectively failed to get that done. They wanted the one big, beautiful bill that had all the things that the American people wanted. It was so good, even Democrats tried to copy it towards the end of the campaign. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security. And so when you have people in Congress who think that their opinion on how we get things done matters more than what we're actually trying to do, I think, to me, that was really the final straw. Not just that President Trump was behind them, but also that they were in many ways a barrier between what the people voted for and what Congress was actually going to get done.
I don't even know if I have to respond to that. That was brilliant. I'm going to write that down and use it for my next video. I think, no, I do. I think you summed it up perfectly. Republicans want a party of win, 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 and fight, fight, fight. That's the party they want. They want a party that's going to go in there, fight the Democrats, not each other, and pull off a win. And what we've been seeing, of late with all these rhinos going down in Texas, Louisiana, Mitch McConnell's replacement coming up in Kentucky. In the House, we're seeing the same thing. Chip Roy, he lost the Texas AG race by 10 points for the in the primary. MTG is gone. Massey's gone. Dan Crenshaw's gone. The pattern here is that, and let's not forget the 6 of 8 rhinos in the Indiana State Senate getting the boot as well. Again, the pattern is exactly what you're saying. All of these defeats are defeats of obstructionists, at least perceived obstructionists. For right or for wrong, they lost the primaries on that platform. If you're 100% behind MAGA and you're fighting and you're winning, you will win. They don't care who you are. Even if you're a 4-term incumbent, doesn't matter, as John Cornyn was. But if you obstruct that agenda, if you get in the way of America First and then in effect do the bidding of Democrats, you're out. And again, it doesn't matter who you are.
Well, Matt, I think that's the point, right? That all of a sudden, if you're Thomas Massie and suddenly you've become the favorite Republican of the ladies of The View, you got to look in the mirror and say, my goodness, what in the world is happening here? But I do want to talk about the political cost, right? The unintended consequences here, right? I've run for U.S. Senate. I've gone down to D.C. trying to beg people like Mitch McConnell to give hope a chance and make sure that we can actually articulate our message in places where we must go on offensive. Minnesota is burning to the ground. There is so much fraud there that, it makes your head spin, and we're just scratching the surface. We've got Senate races there that perhaps for the first time we can win. We've got a governor's race there that perhaps for the first time we can win. I know Ken Paxton can win in Texas, but I do believe it might come at a cost. Certainly, we've had national strategists nationwide talking about the record numbers you've already spent in the primary. So are you concerned that every additional dollar we have to spend in Texas could become problematic as we try to grow that majority to get things like the SAVE Act passed?
No, look, the Republicans are flush with cash right now. I guarantee you that Mr. Paxton will have all the money that he needs in Texas, and we won't be skimping out on other races where we not only need to defend seats, because you're never in a good place if all you're doing is defending, but we want to go out and attack districts where we do have vulnerable Democrats on the ballot. For example, like Minnesota, for the United States Senate seat, or frankly, even in places like California, where it is deep, deep blue. But if Republicans withdraw, that just gives the Democrats a free ride to spend money elsewhere. So no, we have money. We need to compete in every single district in every single state nationwide and put the Democrats on the defensive and not accept the national media narrative that the Democrats have solutions. They don't, and they don't have the support of the people.
Absolutely. Again, President Trump won the popular vote. He won the Electoral College in a landslide for a reason. The policies are what the American people want, and they want individuals who will go down to D.C. and execute. Sandy, Steve, Matt, always a pleasure. God bless. We'll talk soon.
God bless.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Joe.
Joe.
God bless
All right.
you too.